Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome back to Silent Witness, the podcast that dives into cold cases and true crime. With your hosts, Christina.
Hello.
Hello. And I'm Erica. And what do you got for us today, lady?
We got part 2.
Part 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So last week we did part 1. I introduced you to Hailey Dunn.
Yes.
A real sweet, pretty 13-year-old girl who disappeared on December 27th, 2007 from her home in Colorado City, Texas.
Yep.
Hailey was last seen leaving her home to visit a friend's house, but she never arrived. And last week we discussed the days after Hailey's disappearance and the strange and unsettling behavior of Sean Atkins, the boyfriend of Billie Jean, which is Hailey's mom.
Yep. And her unsettling behavior as well.
True. So please go listen to that entire episode for details. And for this episode, I do want to warn you that we are going to talk about some naughty things.
Okay.
And since we are on the 21st floor, I may advise you here in a little bit to stay away from the window.
What?
But I'll give you a heads up.
Oh, what?
Because you're going to want to punch it out.
Oh. I was like, is there a drone coming our way? What are we doing?
Ooh, that would be awesome. Just sit there and
we could set that up.
Oh, that would be cool. Okay.
All right.
So if you remember from last week, Sean Atkins took a polygraph, and during questioning, he was asked where he thinks Hailey can be found, or something to that effect.
Didn't he also say like where to look? And he was like, I'm your mom.
Yes.
Was that? Okay.
Yeah. So Sean had said Scurry County, which is a neighboring county of Mitchell.
Okay.
Anyway.
So nearby county.
Yeah, a nearby county. And then when asked who police should look at in regards to the disappearance, Sean replied with he and her mother.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I remember that because I was like, wow, dude.
Something to that effect. Yeah.
Okay.
And so according to the reports I read, Billie in early January had asked, and this was a few days to weeks after Hailey disappeared, asked her to leave her home. But more on that later.
Wait, what? Say that again.
So she, according to reports, she had asked Sean to leave because they were living together.
So she kicked him out.
Yes.
Days or a week or a couple weeks after
Right.
Hailey went missing.
But more on that later.
Okay. Because obviously that didn't stick. Okay.
Or, well, we'll see.
Okay. Or.
So let's discuss Sean Atkins a little bit further. So the day he last saw Hailey, he went to work early that morning. And Billie was still at the house, so that's kind of corroborated. He worked in Snyder, it's about 28 miles away from Colorado City.
Okay.
And told police that he was fired from his job.
Ooh, that day?
Yeah, that morning.
Okay.
Later, police determined that he got to work and immediately quit his job and left.
Quit, fired, whatever. Doesn't work there anymore. Okay.
Yeah, but that's you don't lie to police.
Sure. I think people lie to police all the time.
I do not.
Really?
I'm lying right now.
Yeah. Okay.
No. I, especially in a case like this, you wouldn't want to lie to the police because that just makes you.
Well, we've already established he's a dummy.
Well, you are correct, ma'am. So Sean reported that he went to his mother's house in Big Spring after work, but cell phone pings placed him in Colorado City.
Oh, well, okay.
So then, so it placed him in Colorado City. which that's true. He was in Colorado City that morning, then to work, then back to Colorado City.
But it placed his
so
pings. So like, where are the towers though?
I don't know specifically.
Wasn't that kind of important?
Okay, so let me break this down.
Okay.
So his cell phone pings placed him in Colorado City that morning. So that's true. He was there. He left there to go to work. Then they placed him in the area of his work.
Okay.
But then he reported to police he went to his mom's house.
Right.
In Snyder, but those pings placed him back in Colorado City. Does that make better sense?
No. I mean, I got it in the first place, but you're saying ping, like, I don't know how the pings work. So
it's cell phone tower. So your phone connects to local towers.
Right.
So if I'm in Dallas.
I mean, we all watch CSI. We all get that part, Christina.
I know.
But I'm saying if it's like triangulated, like how are they sure he was like in there? Like how close is his mom's house? Is his mom's house?
It would just
the
depend
next
on
town?
where the towers are. And that's a rural area. So
There's not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty good source that he went back to Colorado City and didn't go back to his mom's.
And didn't go.
Didn't go to his mom's. Okay.
But then again, after that, he was pinged in Big Spring, which is about 30 miles away, which was his mother's home. So it's all it'll make more sense later on.
So it just sounds like he went. So he did go to his mom's house. He just forgot to mention that he went
back
home first.
Okay. So from Colorado City to Snyder to Big Spring, it is a triangle, like you mentioned, according to Google Maps.
Okay.
But it was another lie. He told police. So this is, circumstantial stuff here, and then he lied again to police.
He's just allergic to the truth. Okay.
Billy's phone was left with Hailey, which that's what was reported. And then her cell phone was pinged there in Colorado City.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the truth. Remember, because she left her phone with Hailey.
Right.
Well, she went to work that morning.
Right. So Hailey would have access. Okay.
So I don't know if you remember or if I mentioned, can't remember, that Sean and Billy's house was searched.
I think you did.
Like in the days
after,
right?
I think you did.
So let me explain something that was found. Police found hundreds, if not thousands, of articles and documents about serial killers and mass killers.
Oh, okay. No, I don't remember that.
No. I didn't mention that part.
Oh, okay.
I just remember mentioning it was searched, but specifically what was found was hundreds and thousands of articles about serial killers, mass killers. Of course, they explained this was a hobby and an interest, true crime. Okay.
If somebody got into your computer or my computer, it probably wouldn't look that good either.
But I'm not going to have thousands of articles and thousands of, information printed and stored if my kid goes missing.
Oh,
I'm
it was
gonna be
printed?
Yeah.
It wasn't like found digitally?
No.
I guess 07. I mean, okay. That's weird.
Again, it doesn't point to somebody being a killer, or it doesn't point to, people I like serial killers.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not.
I strive to be one someday.
Girl.
I'm kidding.
Mason, edit that out. I'm just kidding. Jeez.
It was a joke. Okay.
It's a joke.
Trying to make this. Anyway. But you won't find mass document. You will find mass documents for teaching, because I teach this stuff.
Sure.
And that's very explainable and for research for this podcast. But you're not going to find, but they don't have a podcast. They're not teachers that teach criminal justice and teach about killers.
I'm just thinking about all my friends who love true crime and listen to these podcasts, and they might have, but I don't think anybody would print out hundreds and thousands of articles. That's a lot.
It is a lot. I don't even have that much, and I do this for a living. But,
okay.
I like serial killers too, but I haven't killed anyone.
And is that the actual, that's actually hundreds and thousands of articles? That's what the report says?
Yeah. That's what the police report says. Yeah.
It feels exaggerated.
And it's all of these little things. It's
right.
Why I'm bringing it up, it's because these little things make up the bigger picture in my mind.
Okay.
It's circumstantial.
Yeah.
It's just weird that boxes and boxes of killer-related material was found when and then your daughter goes missing. Like, I'm thinking, maybe I don't know. Maybe I would get rid of that. Maybe I'd have a big bonfire in my backyard and think.
I mean, again, dummy. Not you, him.
And again, just like you said, people love that stuff. True crime. It wasn't.
It's weird to print it out, though. Sorry, I keep going back to that. It was printed out.
Yeah, and I can understand if it was researched on the computer and they find your history.
Or like the browser history is full, sure.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, if we were all arrested for being weird, none of us would be walking free.
Exactly. And, you know, you may not want to keep that if your kid goes missing, but maybe you just don't think about it. You're worried about your kid. But
I mean, common sense is not so common.
Also, police learned that Sean did at least one time threaten to kill Billy and Hailey.
Oh.
During an argument.
Okay, so now that's getting a little warmer.
Well,
but I mean, people
it's
say
still
shit when they're mad.
Exactly.
You just said you wanted to be a serial killer.
And I don't.
So
I
she
really
does not. It was a joke.
don't. You know, well, I said it as a joke. He said it out of anger. A little bit different.
But I mean, people say stuff out of anger all the time.
Exactly.
So that's hard. So, but it's just a bunch of these little things that kept adding up.
And I'm trying to paint a picture that
he was off his
Sean
rocker.
was a little, I don't know.
Not a nice guy.
And it gets even weirder, this next little story.
Okay. Story time.
Additionally, Hailey's uncle recalls speaking with Sean. This was after Hailey disappeared, saying something to the effect, the uncle said, something to the effect is, how could somebody do this to a little girl?
Mm-hmm.
And Sean had an interesting reply. Said, well, it's like killing a deer. And
what?
The uncle said the uncle had reported that Sean is a deer hunter and kills and uses a chainsaw to dismember the deer. So I asked hunters.
Right, yeah.
And they were like, that's
No.
creepy.
That's weird.
That does not happen when you dress a deer, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, you don't use a chainsaw to chop up a deer.
Gross.
And again, I asked some hunters and they said there's no way.
It
That's
would make such a mess.
And even them, and this was just random, you know, like they didn't know
Why
the story.
you're asking or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they said that's somebody angry, and it's also really, really messy.
Well, that's why I'm like, it's messy to dress a deer, but to do it like that, I mean, you
It's
got stuff
weird.
flinging. That's not
Yeah.
methodical. It's not making sure you're cutting your meat nicely. It's wasteful too.
Right.
Right?
Right. So
yeah.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's So of course Sean denied that he had said this. Of course.
Oh, okay. It's
But-
also he said.
Yeah. Also, it should. I mean, why would the uncle lie about that? Though?
No, that's fair.
And I'm
just
sure
saying.
they could have, you know, and maybe they did ask other people, how does he cut a deer up? I don't know. Also, it should be noted that according to police reports, Sean also deleted items off his phone before he turned it over to the police.
So he deleted items off his phone, but left all those articles. That's interesting.
Again, the
But
little
what
bits,
kind of items did they say?
They don't say. They don't say.
Interesting. Okay.
So Hailey was described as a wholesome girl, young. I mean, she was 13. She's not into boys, you know. I mean, today maybe 13-year-olds are into boys. I don't know, but I wasn't.
In 07? Heck yeah, they were into boys at age 13.
She wasn't. And you know, she wasn't into boys, but Sean described her as promiscuous and used drugs.
Promiscuous? Who
Like,
even
why would
uses that
you-
word for a 13-year-old?
And
Gross, dude.
yeah, and in my experience, it's often the case that perpetrators do blame victims.
Well, yeah.
I've had this.
That's how their
I could
brains
tell you
work.
stories of sex offenders that blame a child.
I think we've all heard those stories. It's what she was wearing. It's how she looked at me. Blah, blah.
Mhm.
Shut up. You're
Yeah.
broken.
So,
Mm-hmm.
let's look at a quick statement David gave police. So, if you remember, David is the older brother.
Thank you. I did not remember.
He said when he got home, and this all is another little circumstantial story, but he said he got home, banged on the door real hard for about 5 minutes. And this was after because the night he saw Hailey, he was spending the night with friends.
Okay.
So he got home, I guess the next day. I
Okay.
think this was the next day. So he's trying to get in the house, door was locked. He banged on the door, 5 minutes with no answer. So he decided to go through a window that he knew would be open.
Mhm.
And Sean was there in the hallway and saw David and just looked like a deer caught in the headlights, like just
Oh, crap.
startled and scared and whatever, you know,
Sure.
just surprised.
Somebody just climbed in through the window.
Yeah. And so Sean officially becomes a suspect in early January.
Wait. Was that it with the David story? He came in through the window? That was the end of that?
Yeah, for now. I mean, other than what I talked about last time, that he did help, go to his dad's, look for her, or whatever, but yeah, that it was just, again, it's just these little tiny things that, no, it doesn't prove he's a killer. No, you cannot get a warrant for his arrest for these little things. But it's just, again, circumstantial stuff that.
Did it put him there at a time when he said he wasn't there? Like, I don't.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just because Sean was home, David's banging on the door. Why isn't Sean coming to the door to let him in? Why does he got to climb through a window? It
but
may indicate.
Weren't they avid drug users too though? The mom, Billy and
I don't know about avid. I don't know. I don't know about their use as far as like constant use, but I mean, yeah, they were drug users.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, this is just a story in my research, and it's a tiny little thing.
Okay. I thought it was going somewhere.
No.
Okay.
It's just another little bit.
Okay.
Little bit. But
yes,
I think we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break.
Yeah. And we will be back in just a second.
Sounds good.
At 25 Home, our ultimate goal is to provide you with a transformative experience, making each day feel like it has an extra hour. We believe your home is more than just a space, it's a sanctuary where comfort, relaxation, and happiness thrive. Discover the difference at 25 Home today. Shop now at 25home.com.
Okay, so we're
all
back.
right. We are back.
I'm not good with time. Anyway, so back to Hailey and her disappearance.
Okay.
So we're back in January. And I mentioned in the last episode, the FBI, the Texas Rangers became involved in the case. Also, some other groups did come in to lend their assistance, such as the Class Kids, which this organization helps with search and rescue. They offer support to families. They also fingerprint children all around the country. And the group was founded in 1994 as a result of Polly Class, who was abducted at knife point from a slumber party at her house and was found 2 months later dead. And the killer, Richard Allen Davis, I think he was out on parole at the time, and he was sentenced to death for that crime.
Yep.
So also another Laura's Recovery Center for Missing Children. This group helps recover missing and runaway children and offer support to families. So they came into Colorado City to assist in Hailey's case.
Okay.
They don't just help families recover these children and offer support, but they also bring national attention to the case.
Sure.
Which is needed in a lot of these cases. Also, Nancy Grace, my idol, love her. Covered the case and interviewed Billie Jean, and I did see the interview. And anyway, but it was because of the national attention to this case, search efforts grew. Thousands of dollars were raised for reward money. But remember, this is West Texas. It's very, very rural.
Okay.
A lot of land to cover.
Yeah.
I did read one report that indicated that the Class organization abruptly left. Mark, who was Polly's dad, who founded the organization, stated in an interview that Billy should be ashamed for lying to police and, in essence, hindering the investigation.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So if Mark's going to get mad and leave, something's up.
Right.
I also read a report that Billy hired a private investigator who also abruptly left after a month of working on the case.
Wait, Billy hired?
Yes.
That's weird.
The private investigator did not give a reason, but we can assume something was up. And to this day, still hasn't given a reason.
Why? I mean, what's the harm in saying why you quit a job?
Maybe he can't. Maybe,
I don't know the laws. NDA with Billie Jean?
No, but I mean, there may be confidentiality laws. I don't know. I don't know much about the private investigator.
I don't think they have a fiduciary duty. I don't know. Okay. Well, Tell people why you
Obviously.
quit, nerd.
I mean, who cares? We know why.
Because what if he knew something? Like, why didn't he take it to law enforcement?
Well, and if he did know something, he would have. But
If he's a good person.
I'm assuming that he left because of Billy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she hasn't been the most cooperative and the most truthful
So you think he
throughout
was
this
just,
thing.
like, frustrated?
Yeah. I
just
mean,
said,
that's
"Okay,
the same
bye."
reason Mark left.
Mhm.
So.
Interesting.
But some more info regarding the police search of the home. So we're going to go back. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but sorry. It's how I write.
Keep up.
It's how I write.
Okay.
So back to the home search. Seized were Hailey's bed sheets, a Chevy Lumina that both Sean and Billy shared, which is a vehicle.
Right.
2 rolls of electrical tape, a cigarette lighter, and some other miscellaneous items from the trunk of the car.
Oh, okay.
I will discuss a little bit more later.
So the lighter and the electrical tape were in the trunk?
I don't know.
Or
It didn't say.
oh,
It just
the way
said
you just
other,
said it sounded
according to the report, other miscellaneous items from the trunk of the car. So maybe they were in the trunk. I don't know.
like, okay.
I don't know. They were seized somehow.
Okay. I was just gonna say there's a big difference between electrical tape found in the garage versus electrical tape found in the trunk, which is how I took it when you said it, but you don't know. Okay. Just kidding.
I'm assuming it was in the trunk, but I don't know.
Okay.
She also had a brand new iPod, which those were a thing back then.
They
iPods.
were. Mhm.
I still have my MP3 player, but I'm old. So she had a new iPod. She had money. She had clothing, toothbrush, and none of her personal effects were missing.
What do you mean she had? Like they were like
They were
her
in the
room?
house in her
Okay.
room. Yeah.
Okay.
Also of note, shortly after Hailey disappeared, the inside walls of the home were freshly painted.
Oh. Okay.
More on that later.
That's a weird choice. After
No.
she disappeared?
Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously I know where you're going with it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's a weird choice for somebody who should be looking for their kid.
Well, remember,
Interesting.
Sean wasn't looking for Hailey.
Right. But I'm talking about Billie Jean,
Well, I don't know.
who fudged this all up.
Well,
Look at me not cussing.
well, she didn't.
I'm so proud of me.
You can cuss. This is a rated R podcast.
Mhm.
So back in February 2011, just a couple months after she disappeared,
Okay.
a warrant was served on Sean's residence and his mother's residence.
Okay.
I don't know if that was a new warrant. I don't know what they're talking about as far as his residence. If when she moved out, if it was in the home he shared with Billy, I'm not sure. It just says, according to the report. Now you got to understand, police aren't going to divulge every single little tiny thing. So,
Okay.
but a warrant was served. Another warrant was served.
Mm-hmm.
But this also included his mother's residence.
Okay.
Police found 109,000 images of child porn.
Yeah. Okay. I thought we talked about this.
No,
last
we
week.
didn't.
Okay. This is okay. I didn't look it up.
No, we did not talk about this last week.
Okay.
So they found 109,000
Jeez.
images of child porn, bestiality,
Ugh.
and other deviant acts on multiple devices confiscated by police, both at the home of Billy. So yes, okay. So this was
his home
Billy's
and his mom's home.
and his mother's house.
Gross. Gross. Okay.
So the anger. Remember at the beginning I said, don't punch out the window?
Oh.
Because, people may get mad who own this building. I learned about this, and was Sean arrested?
Probably not.
Oh.
Isn't that illegal? Possession?
100%.
So they didn't even arrest him with 109,000.
If you remember, I don't know, I always bring this up, but of course, younger people don't know Josh Duggar. Remember 19 Kids and Counting?
Oh,
The TV
yeah,
show with the
yeah.
Duggars. He's in prison now for child porn, possession of
Just
child
possession,
porn.
right?
Well, he had possession.
No. I mean, Duggar didn't do anything beyond it. Was
Well, he
just
did,
possession.
but
Okay.
that's not what he's in prison for.
He's in prison for possession.
Possession
Why
of child
wasn't
porn.
he arrested?
But no, he wasn't arrested.
Is there a reason though? Like,
Yeah.
because you always make me think, well, Erica, they couldn't do that because they didn't have this, that, or the other.
Listen, this is the anger part.
Okay.
Even for me.
Could they have not arrested him though because they wanted him out to see what he would do?
No. If they did, they're idiots. And I'm going to straight out say it because you can still find out what he's going to do in jail.
Well, he can't go anywhere if he's in jail. They can't follow him anywhere if he's in jail.
Where are they going to follow him?
That's what I was thinking.
They ain't follow him. They're not following him anywhere.
Why didn't they arrest him?
Now, let's break this down. Child porn was found not only at his home, but at his mom's home.
Mm-hmm.
There's connection there, right? So what's the connection? Sean. Yes.
Yeah. I was like,
no. Yeah, I know. So why wasn't he arrested? Well, the police were trying to protect Sean, do you think?
No, I think they're just stupid. That's so blatant. How do you not arrest somebody?
Well, this just frustrated me.
Why would they
I
protect
did
him?
email Dad,
Okay.
Clint, who we're going to have on in the future.
Right.
And what he said is that the FBI told him that they were partial images. And because some were found at his mother's home.
What does that have to do with anything? That's stupid. Possession is possession, right?
Yeah. This does not make sense.
Why? Okay, here's my answer to that stupid theory. Why didn't they arrest both of them then?
Exactly.
The mom and the son.
I know a little bit about
Shame
crime.
on y'all.
I
Shame
do
on
know
you.
a little bit about crime.
Okay.
You know, this
Well, that's why I'm waiting for you to be like, well, Erica, they can't because
No,
of
I'm
this.
not. I'm not. They should
Okay.
have. I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
That for sure I'm not going to say. I know, first, how do they know it was child porn if it was partial images?
Right. Well, I mean,
If you have partial images and you can determine it's child porn,
then you know.
Right. Also, they were very specific. Bestiality is a pretty specific thing.
I mean,
And if the images
sure.
were partial, how do you know it's bestiality?
Mm-hmm. I mean, they knew enough to say what it was. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're trying. Yeah.
It's pretty specific. So how do they know this detail if they're not full images?
Well, and partial versus full, who cares?
Who cares? It's still, exactly.
And
even,
I'm sure
even if they were partial images
all 109,000
that depict this, it's still a crime.
Right.
It is still against the law, not only federally, but locally.
Yeah. And then couldn't that be like, I don't know, cross county lines or some stuff too?
No.
Why not?
Well, cross
Are they
county
live in the
lines, who
same county?
cares? I mean, they would just have charges filed in 2 counties. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do.
Oh, okay.
I
I don't know. What do I know?
But again, Sean frequented his mother's house, so of course,
Right.
And then again, you're right. Like they would if they had an issue because some were found at mom's house, arrest mom. There has been plenty of women that have been arrested
That's
for
what I'm saying.
child porn.
Arrest them both.
Exactly. I guarantee you, mom's gonna talk. Ugh.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
No, of course.
Some moms are freaking batshit
Not
crazy
me.
about that stuff.
I'll turn my kids in. Notice any of that crap.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I'm not going to prison for anybody, including my own kids. Of course, the biggest defense of those that are accused of this type of crime are access to devices. So, and this, believe me, being in this field, I've dealt with a lot of this. So, and always they say, oh, so-and-so was on my laptop. So-and-so was on my phone. So,
Sure.
It wasn't just me. But here's my thought. If they doubt him, arrest everybody. Sort it out in court. But my point is that he should have been arrested. This is at very least a child predator, if not a murderer. This is disgusting. And I don't understand. It to me breeds idiocy.
Yeah, and I
And it frustrates me because the FBI is not known for that.
well, and that's what I was thinking. Like, I could be, I don't want to say understanding, but it would make more sense to me if it was like some podunk rural
and it is, but
people who didn't. But the FBI was also involved, and they didn't. So that's why I'm kind of like, what is the thought here?
And
What are
what-
we missing?
And one thing I didn't look up, which now I should have, is the statute of limitations to that. Like, because this was found in 2000. This was found in 2011. Maybe it hadn't run out. Maybe they can still get him for it. I say put him in jail and say, hey, we'll cut you a deal if you tell us.
So you're saying he's not in jail now?
Well, I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
anything. So let's jump to March.
Okay.
Police go to Billy's home. Now, March. We're 3 months later, right?
Thank you. Yes.
They go to Billy's home and ask if Sean's there because they have another warrant for something. I think it's for DNA at this point. I don't remember. Or maybe I'll say it later.
Okay.
She denied he was there. So remember earlier I mentioned that she said, hey, get out. Well,
Right.
So the police came knocking in a few months later, where's Sean? And she said, oh, he's not here. Well, police found Sean was indeed there.
Oh, he was in the house?
Yeah. Now, they did arrest Billy for this.
What?
Well, it is a crime.
What? Lying to police?
Yeah, false statement to police.
Okay, which Sean has done several times.
I understand, but they can't.
No, I'm just saying, again, they didn't arrest him
right
for that either.
Well, they did arrest her for false statement to police, hindering an
Wow.
investigation, and a few other charges.
Wow.
Her daughter is missing.
Are
She
any of these
knows.
guys related to Sean?
I don't know.
Are any of them buddies?
I don't know. This is something we can ask Clint for sure
Okay.
when we have him on.
That's curious. Okay.
But
Yes, she's missing her baby.
her daughter's missing.
Mhm.
She knows damn good and well Sean is the only suspect, number one suspect,
Mhm.
and she's protecting him.
Mhm.
How in the actual fuck does this make any sense? Yes, I
It doesn't.
cussed.
Yes, you
You're
did.
welcome.
It's okay. Yeah, I don't get that at all. I don't her. Ugh, I don't get her at all.
Now
I don't understand lying. I don't understand
And I did
having a freaking party.
post. There's a picture of the three of them. But anyway,
The three of who?
Sean, Hailey, and Billy.
Oh, okay.
But of course, her attorney had a great spin, as defense attorneys do.
Sure.
And the police were trying to put pressure on her to trap Sean and get a confession.
Wait, what was the spin that the attorney put on it?
They arrested her to try to force her, hey, we'll cut a deal if you'll trap Sean, which I believe she did try to confront him or whatever, and it didn't work. I think I read that. I don't take my word on that, but it seems like I read that. But in the end, she pled guilty and took a year probation. She's never had a criminal record before, so you're going to get probation. And these were misdemeanors.
Right. Yeah, I'm not like annoyed she didn't go to jail. I'm just annoyed that she's seems like a crappy human.
Of course. So let's jump ahead a year.
Mm-hmm.
So remains are found about a mile from Sean's mother's home.
Okay.
And the first thought is Hailey.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I won't leave you hanging on this one like I normally do.
I was like, are you going to tell me wait for part 3? Okay.
But after careful analysis by forensic experts, it was determined to have been male.
Oh, okay.
And the remains were not Hailey.
Oh.
So the case goes cold once again.
Did they figure out who they are?
I don't know. I didn't research that part.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope they did.
I'm sure they had good advances. So I don't know.
Don't say I'm sure. Look at
I
how
mean, I
they've
don't
been
know.
handling this investigation.
Well, this is a different county. This was in a different county.
Okay.
So we, the case now goes cold again. So next week we will continue with this case.
Okay.
And discuss the developments and the non-developments in this very confusing and frustrating case.
Uh-huh.
So I would love to hear everybody's thoughts on social media.
All right.
Silent Witness TX
TX.
on all platforms. So go tell us what you think, and we will post pictures of the family and of Hailey. And if you have any info on this, call the
Hailey Dunn.
Yeah, call Texas Rangers. Go to their website and you can,
You can Google Hailey Dunn.
Yeah.
2010. It comes up.
Yeah.
You get all the info that I'm not allowed to look at yet.
No.
But there it is.
We're getting into it. You got to wait till next week.
All right. Well, that was Silent Witness for today.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science, take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at grencoscience.com.